Welcome back to Voltage Bros, your ultimate destination for all things movies. My name is Jerem.
And I'm Kenny, and today we're going to go through our top 5 Marvel movies.
And I'm super excited to do this list. I don't know what Kenny's got, he doesn't know what I've got, but we are brothers. So, will they be similar lists?
They might be, but when I was looking this up, there was a surprising amount, and it was kind of difficult to make a top 5.
There are a lot of Marvel movies at this point.
Let's get into it.
All right.
Jerem, how do you want to do this?
I'll start with my number 5.
Sounds perfect to me.
Okay, my number 5 is... Spider-Man No Way Home. Porky Pig is not in it, I know, but that's the stuffed animal that I have. Spider-Man No Way Home is so awesome, and it's a little bit unfair to be on this list because it mixes in Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, so it just gets some extra points for that. And my list is the ones that I love and that are fun and that I think are the best. And this one is just so much fun. And for me, Tom Holland, I never really loved him that much. I really loved the other two Spider-Men way more because I always thought that Spider-Man should be more sad, to say it lightly. And the Tom Holland Spider-Mans were just a little bit too
upbeat.
Yeah, too upbeat for me.
Right.
But then bringing on the other two Spider-Mans, I really think it turned Tom Holland into the Spider-Man that I wanted him to be, which was a mix of all the Spider-Mans.
Right.
In the live actions, at least. So it was perfect and so much fun.
It was so much fun. I think everything about the movie did really well, bringing all three characters together in a smooth way where any generation could enjoy it because their favorite Superman is on screen.
Spider-Man.
Right. Favorite Spider-Man is on screen. And because of that, anyone could watch it and love it.
Yeah. My favorite scene of the whole movie is just when the three of them are talking on top of the tower.
Right.
Just riffing with each other.
Right.
And you really see their individual personalities.
Mm-hmm.
And what else do I have to say?
Can we just stop for a minute? You are amazing. Or something like that scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't overly rely on nostalgia to tell a good story.
Right.
It is its own story. And then it has nostalgia for fun. And it doesn't bring in the other two Spider-Men at the end just for fun. It really adds them
part of the story
as characters.
Yeah.
And adds to their story individually. So
right. Nice. Well, good pick at number 5. My number 5 is Captain America, the First Avenger.
Okay.
I think... Oh, right. We got to switch it.
Oh. This little First Avenger.
Perfect. Well, I think the reason I like this movie so much is I'm a nostalgic guy. And just when I think about this movie, I just remember how simple it was, right? It's pretty straightforward. Small guy who's a really good guy and wants to do the best for his country, wants to fight for his country, but can't because of super skinny and scrawny. Gets a chance to become super huge and jacked as a scientific experiment from the government and uses those powers for good. And I just like how simple it is.
It's such a great origin story, and it really introduces the character of Captain America so well. He's someone who wants to fight for good.
Right. Exactly. And in the mess of the MCU these days where there's so many different storylines and confusing storylines within one movie because there's 5 different characters, this one's just so nice because it's about one guy the whole time. Yeah. But that's my number 5. Jerem, what's your number 4?
Well, my number 4 is Avengers Endgame. It's a finale story, but it also doesn't just rely on the finale feel to get itself through. It has character development itself in its own movie. So Thor has to deal with his emotions. Iron Man gets to finish his arc. Captain America gets to finish his arc. And it's just so much fun.
When the movie came out, it was an event. It was an event that you had high expectations for that delivered.
Yeah. What a crazy, crazy time back then when that movie came out.
Yep. Sweet. Well, my number 4, Jerem, is Thor Ragnarok.
Nice.
It had to be in my top 5 because it simply mixes the best parts of Thor together perfectly in the third one. It's got humor, it's got seriousness, it's got the brother back and forth throughout the whole movie. And it's got Hulk in it, but in a good way. And I think, kind of way you said, it's just so fun. I just enjoy the movie the whole time. There's not really a dull moment or a moment where you feel like, we could have skipped that scene, right? Maybe there is, but it's funny, so you don't care, right? So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I definitely think it's the best of the Thor movies.
Oh, by far.
And I love it because you realize that Thor has become someone else.
Right.
So because of his influence of being on Earth with the Avengers, it's just added to his character of being a guy who's kind of silly.
Right.
I don't know. It's just like the Avengers
Yeah.
rubbed off on him,
Right.
and he is now not what he used to be at the beginning,
Yeah, exactly.
which was an arrogant
changed.
little boy and then a strong-willed man, and now he's like a silly little boy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's good, and we enjoy it.
Okay, number 3 for me is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So I love this one because it is a superhero movie mixed with a spy movie perfectly.
Yeah.
And it's got so many great action scenes and
That's true.
action shots. Watching this movie, you feel like you're in a comic book.
Mhm.
There's a few scenes that just stand out to me. Like actually a lot of scenes that stand out to me that are just like that should be painted on a picture, like plastered in the comic book, like a whole page of that would be
Mhm.
beautiful. So I'm just gonna name some off. So when Winter Soldier catches the shield,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
that's a perfect picture.
Right.
And then when the bad guy is dead on the ground and you see the ship falling behind him, boom, perfect picture. When Bucky is above Captain America punching him in the face and he says, "I'm with you to the end of the line, pal." Like his face, and then he's falling into the debris. Perfect picture. Oh, and then this is all kind of like at the end, climactic moment, but when Captain America's on the ground in the water and you see the ship falling and you see Bucky pulling him out of
Yep.
the water.
Yep.
Like those just like pristine full shots of beauty are what make this movie so awesome. And having the sidekick of Black Widow really adds to the
Spy
fun.
aspect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the spy aspect,
Right.
definitely.
Mhm.
And yep, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget that movie is like a spy movie almost, and he's on the run a lot
Mhm.
of the time. Is it this movie where he's in the elevator
Yeah.
and has to escape? Yeah.
Yeah.
That too. I remember that shot. He's like,
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
yeah,
Yeah.
great shot as well.
Yeah, that is so awesome. The fight
Mhm.
scenes are so good in this. It's
Mhm.
probably one of my favorite fight scenes in the MCU is in this movie with the knife fight between him and the Winter Soldier against the car when
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's like so good.
It is so good. Yeah. Awesome. Well, my number 3. Got to change this to Avengers: Infinity War. So you could keep it, but
put this guy in there.
okay, there we go. Nice.
Bombay.
Well, I have Avengers: Infinity War on here
Nice.
simply because of how big of a project it was, similar to Endgame, but first.
Yeah.
You didn't know if they could do it, right? We already knew Avengers 1 and 2, but that's still small scale. That's still just Earth. But Avengers: Infinity War does take actually a huge leap from
Yeah.
that. It's from Earth to suddenly everything. That's a big, huge leap. And they have to jump between like 4 different storylines within the movie, I think, ish. And it does that without making you bored at any moment. Right? We reviewed Despicable Me 4, and I think there was 4 storylines in that movie, but you hated 3 of them. Avengers: Infinity War, obviously drastically different movies, but all 4 of them you were invested in and you enjoyed, and it ended off with a banger.
Yeah, the Avengers movies are kind of funny in that like they always have Thor off finding something.
Yeah.
So they
true.
have that happening in this one as well.
Mhm.
But the beauty about Infinity War is something the Russo brothers have said is that they looked at it as a heist movie.
Right.
So it's like gather all the things.
Mhm.
Can we use these things to defeat the bad guy at the end? Will it work or will it not? Twist at the end,
And then it doesn't.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
Mhm.
awesome. And I can see why some people like that one more than
Yeah.
Endgame. I just like Endgame
Yeah.
better just because it's more fun.
I just specifically love the ending. I mean, obviously there's the ending where everyone disappears and he snaps, but the ending where he first appears on Earth, and someone's like, he's here, and then every Avenger is just going at him, and he's just while he's going for the time stone, and it's slow motion almost, and then he gets to the point where he gets to WandaVision or whatever, and then she kills him, and you're like, oh man, that sucks, but good, he's not gonna win, and then he just reverses time, and you're like, okay, right? It just hits you so hard.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I loved that. That scene was my favorite scene.
Man, this is so fun going back.
Yeah.
Thinking about all these
It's
movies.
been a while.
It's so nostalgic and just, man, I miss those old times.
Yeah, it's gotten too crazy now.
So, my number 2.
Number 2.
Okay, my number 2 is... Boom. Back to this, dude. Except a different.
Is it Civil War?
Yes, it is.
I knew it.
My number 2 is Civil War, and my number 3 was Winter Soldier, and I kind of was battling between which one of these I liked more, and I ultimately decided on Civil War. There's lots of reasons I think that it's awesome, just like the Winter Soldier, just those beautiful shots. For example, the one where Iron Man is shooting Captain America's shield like this, and you see the light go like that. That actually is a shot from the comic book.
Right.
And just the emotion involved in the last battle between them two is so hard-hitting and awesome. And the whole movie, you think it's going to be about something else. You think it's going to be about fighting these super soldiers, and then no, it's not. It's about a fight between Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah.
And it is a bit of a convoluted plan to get there, but you don't really notice.
Yeah.
And just seeing that all the Avengers fight each other is so fun, and those are the clips that always show up for me. It's like Spider-Man fighting Captain America, you know, Ant-Man growing big, like all these awesome moments. The reason I put it above Winter Soldier is because there's one problem I have with the Winter Soldier, and it's that some of Black Widow's scenes are a little bit sexualized in Winter Soldier, and a few years later they kind of stopped doing that. Yeah. So yeah, when I go back and watch Winter Soldier, that's just like the one thing that just bothers me. So I had to just like notch it down a little bit, which is why I like Civil War better.
Yeah, I think my favorite scene in that movie is the fight at the end. Obviously, like you said, the emotion in it is really intense between Captain America and Iron Man and Bucky. But also, the choreography is awesome. Like, you love watching the fight.
Yeah,
it's
there's
great.
so many good fights. Oh, we could have put Black Panther up here for that one too, because he's a big part of that one. He was introduced in that movie.
Right.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I need you to grab the pig.
The pig!
It's far away. Because my number 2, once we grab it.
I didn't know this was coming back.
The pig. Not actually. But Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Nice.
I have mine a few spots ahead of you. But
This is your number
2.
2. Okay.
This is my number 2. I love this movie. We kind of talked about it already. But I just loved seeing all 3 of them introduced so naturally, as you said, into the storyline. Because they are part of the storyline. And it all makes sense. And even all 5 of the bad guys, or however many they are in it naturally. They're all got there the moment before they were about to die. So that's why they were there. Also, I just love Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man so much.
That's awesome.
And I so wish we could go back and make a 3rd one.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, he as an actor was the best Spider-Man. That I don't know if that's controversial or not, but
I think
he was perfect. Like, he played the role just perfectly. And I just wish we could have him back. And I was so happy to have him back for a little bit. And have him back in a way that was natural and didn't make me annoyed that he was back.
Yeah, and actually added to his character and kind of let him redeem himself after that terrible ending that we had to witness.
Right. He actually got a chance to finish his character arc almost. Not necessarily finish, but it was more complete.
We could picture where he was going and at least where his character went.
Right. I lost myself for a while finding.
Yeah, and I thought that Andrew Garfield would show up in the new Venom movie, Venom 3, but I just watched the trailer and I don't think it's...
You don't think so?
I don't think it's foreshadowing that at all.
Maybe they're holding him back.
If they were, they would be doing way more advertising for this movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a whole lot of advertising for Venom 3.
Yeah.
So I thought they would because I thought that Venom was supposedly in Andrew Garfield's universe because you see the same Oscorp building, but
Well, I heard this movie is supposed to start in the MCU universe, Venom 3, and then like a little bit ways through he gets back to his universe. So I don't know what that means, but
maybe. Yeah.
maybe. I also haven't seen the first or second Venom. So
Okay.
anyways, that's the
Well,
tangent. but-
Different. I mean, it's Marvel, but it's different.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
Number
your
one?
Number one.
You want to hear mine first?
That's the order we're going.
Okay. This dude. My favorite is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 because yeah,
Really?
I love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Huh.
It is so hilarious.
That's one with Dad, right?
Yeah. It is so hilarious and so focused on the relationships between the buddies and the banter between them. You're just laughing the whole time. And I just think it's the best of the three just because it's the funniest. After the introduction of the characters in the first one, which was really awesome introduction, now you just know the characters and you're with them and they're awesome.
You're just having
And yeah.
yeah.
And Drax is more of a character. He's more funny and he laughs more. And they've all kind of integrated with each other, so they know each other better and they're a real team and they have their problems. But I really can't say as much as I did about the other movies, you know? Like, these are the reasons why it's awesome. Like, all I can really say is
You love
I
it.
love it, you know?
Yeah, I find this interesting because I knew one of the Guardians of Galaxies would be on your list, but I thought it would be like number 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised that it's your number 1 and that the second one is your number 1. I thought the first one was going to be on your list and it was going to be like number 5 or 4 or 3 maybe. I was surprised that's number 1.
Yeah, number 1 is really good. Also, going back to watch number 1, like Rocket's face and Groot is like not animated as pristine. So
Okay.
so just like I think they're kind of equally good in storytelling,
okay.
but number 2 I think is just funnier and prettier and has Mantis in it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Mantis is a really good character.
Nobody asked me why. Don't ask me why I love the second one the best.
like
just
it.
I just love it. It's just the best one.
That'll work. Okay. Well, my number 1 is Iron Man. Do we have an Iron Man
First
stuffy?
Iron Man? I don't
First
have an Iron Man.
Man. Darn, no Iron Man stuffy. What's something that relates to Iron Man?
I have a big Black Panther bear,
Okay,
and I have a bigger Groot.
we'll stick with Groot.
Bigger Groot.
Nothing to do with Iron Man, but you can pretend,
He's growing
audience,
up.
that this is Iron Man. Kind of like what I said with Captain America. I just love the original movies. I just love how simplistic they are for some reason. And the origin story of Iron Man is so awesome to me. And I kind of can't explain it, kind of like you. I just love it. I just love how he's this billionaire playboy who then is thrown into a cave because they wanted to build the weapons for them.
Pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. And then he finds the fight in him, but he still keeps his personality.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know? He's not like,
That's a good point.
there's lots of origin stories where like they're a billionaire playboy and then they get thrown into this trial and then they change and become super good men who are awesome and nice, and which is good and is an awesome story. But I just love that he gets thrown into this trial and he fights and he does become a better person, but he's still a billionaire playboy.
Yeah.
He still is Tony Stark, right? And I think it shows that immediately after he's saved, pretty much, when he shows up and it's like, what do you need? I need a cheeseburger or something, right? He's still him, but he's learned to fight and decided he doesn't want to sell his weapons to everyone.
Yeah, and the character of Iron Man doesn't just switch like you said right away. It takes a whole 10 years
Right,
of movies
right, exactly.
to really change who he is
Right.
and become the person who saves the world.
Yeah, they definitely had the long term in view when they made this movie.
For sure. Definitely. And can it be done again? Can something like this be done again? Who knows?
Yeah.
It kind of tripped and fell and is picking himself up again. I'm excited to have Robert Downey Jr. back. Can't help it. I can't help it, but want him back to be Doctor Doom. But is this the right way to go? Can they blow us away like they did before?
I think no.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, sure. try.
Good
I
luck.
want to be blown away.
I want to too, because Robert Downey Jr. is great.
So, Kenny,
So, Jerem,
I had a lot of fun going back through these movies and talking about why each one is our favorite one. Let us know your rankings in the comments below. And you don't have to explain why. You can just tell us which one's your favorite. It doesn't matter why. No reasons.
if you enjoy them, you enjoy them.
Exactly. So subscribe, click that notification bell.
Like this video, and as always,
Let's
Let's
bolt.
bolt.